everyone, welcome to the postseason interview with the coach of the Florida for Alligators, Lionheart Plays. It is crazy that both of those names have changed over the course of this season. That is really funny. I just thought about that right now. The now three-time champ. So this is going to be a fun interview. We're here with the champ of season 4. First and foremost, my friend, how are you doing today?
I am doing out freaking standing. I had a great day today.
Love it.
How are you doing?
Love to hear it. Pretty good. I mean, I had a decent day, pretty chill day. Played some Call of Duty all day, pretty much. All right. So, actually, before we get into that, actually, no, we'll do that at the end. I'm sorry. That is something that's more fitting for the end. So, let's get into the real part of this interview, the questions here. First up, what are your general thoughts about your season as a whole?
Oh boy. All right. So you're no stranger.
Complicated question.
I'm sorry.
It's a bit of a complicated question. Huh?
I'm gonna keep it straight. Well, no, it is. So you're no stranger of how this season went. You know, I've voiced it out to you. I've voiced it out to Matt. Voiced it to Pidge and whatnot. This season was definitely not my favorite. Yeah, it was definitely not my favorite. It was a lot of stress that went in, and I'm like, bro, I just need this season to be over. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was great competing and everything. There's just something about this season that didn't sit right from the beginning, and you know, I'm kind of happy that it's over. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, behind the scenes, guys, he was trashing the EBL for the whole season.
Well, no.
I'm just kidding. I'm just messing.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, I just want to make it clear, I wasn't trashing the EBL just this season. The EBL is a great organization, and you know, without the EBL, I actually would not be where I'm at right now and have met the people that I have met. So I am forever thankful for that. The EBL is a great organization. This season did suck though. I put him in defense mode. So do you feel, this is an interesting question because last season had maybe not a so desirable ending. Do you feel that you were able to improve from your performance last season? No. I feel like last season was, I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that question. Wow, that's a pretty good question. But no, I mean, like, I feel like I did a little bit. I think I did more worse. Is that a phrase? Is that the appropriate way? I think I did worse this season than last season. Last season went a little bit smoother. This season, for the first 3 matches, literally, they all went to timer, and it's like, bro. And then I feel like, you know, the team itself, it kind of definitely engaged those gears in my head to try to make them work and whatnot, because it's not the best team that I've drafted, and you know, but I don't think that it was a bad team regardless. So yeah, I mean, I think I did better work last season than this season. Last season, I mean, sadly, I had to not continue.
But there's a very good chance you were gonna end that season without a loss. So I'm not surprised by your answer. That's why I kind of approached the question the way I did, because like I said, the way your season ended maybe would affect it, but honestly, I agree more or less with your answer. Now, speaking of your team, would you have approached this season differently in any way? For example, you know, the way you drafted, maybe who you drafted, or just kind of your general approach to the matches this season?
Like how I drafted and everything? That's mainly the question that you're revolving at?
Well, how would you have maybe changed certain ways that you came about this season, you know, with your prep or your draft or things like that?
Okay. I was lax because of the long break span that we had. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and rest and chill, right? And I procrastinated a lot. And I feel like it all ultimately caught up to me by week 3, I'd say. it all caught up to me by week 3, because by week 3 it was no longer, let me just prep here and then just like rest. No, it was straight prepping every day. I think that's the best way that I can answer that question.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Were you more or less satisfied with how your season went? Obviously, you won it all, so it might be a bit of a dumb question. But how did you feel? What level of satisfaction did you get from this season?
Okay, so am I overall satisfied with how my season went? Yeah, because obviously we won the championship, like you said. We won the championship. It was definitely a little bit of a struggle. So shouts out to everyone that has helped me, Latin, Alan, you, everyone who has helped me. But yeah, I'm more or less satisfied with how the season turned out, because we reached the goal. I feel like with all the work that was placed and the worrying and everything, this championship, it felt good to win it. It felt good to win it. I'm not saying, I don't mean to sound cocky or anything like that, that the past championships were, it was easy. No, that's not the case. It wasn't. But there was an element to this season, and there was an element to this championship, actually the semifinal and the championship, that for this season, that kind of just once we won it, it made it more. There was a little bit more flavor to it, and so I think that overall, made the season good. I mean, the way it ended up, obviously.
Well, those last 2 matches were pretty intense. So.
Very, very. A lot of brain power went into that.
Yeah. So speaking of goals, do you feel that you lived up to the goals that you set for yourself before the season kicked off?
Yes, that I will say yes. So check this out. Before last season ended, or actually before last season officially ended for everyone, because mine had to end a little sooner for personal reasons, but before last season officially ended, I was already thinking of the next draft with offline. And offline, obviously, for those of you who didn't know, me and offline, we were thinking of doing a theme team, and it was going to be all fairies and whatnot. Then certain things happened, obviously, and offline couldn't particularly help with the draft anymore at that point, so we kind of just had to wing it and whatnot. And the one goal that offline and I had was, at the very least, take this team to the playoffs. We made it to the playoffs. We did the playing game, beat the playing game. At that point, if you guys saw the playing game with Latin Luigi, we were over it with the season. We were just like ready to go, and then we won it. So we were like, bleep this and whatnot. Fun reaction. But we did it to the playing game. First round of the playoffs. We went and we won that, and then we won the semifinals against Max. So the goal was met, right? To make it to the playoffs. We exceeded that goal by winning the playoffs, and then we made it to the championship. And then we won the championship. So I'd say that for this team, the one that we drafted offline, because it was ours, me and his goal originally, I'd say that, that goal was met. So yes.
Speaking of your team, obviously you made a promise to offline, but if you could have changed your team in any way, would you have?
It's crazy because we already established that this wasn't my best team that I drafted, but as crazy as it sounds, I actually like the team. Because one of the highlights for this season, it's centered on the team specifically. I got to use a lot of my favorite Pokemon. I got to use my all-time favorite Pokemon, Lugia, obviously. So excited to use him, and I got to use him. I got my chance to use Barraskewda. I think that I've used compared to whoever else had Barraskewda in the past. I feel like I've used Barraskewda more effectively. There's always that comparison that Matt and I has. So Matt, if you are watching this interview by chance, let me know if who you think.
I think it was.
But I got a chance to play with the fish. I was pretty good at using the fish to begin with, I feel. Togekiss, Togekiss and the other Mons, I'm just happy that I got to, play with all these Pokemon and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So no, I don't think I would have changed anything, as crazy as it sounds.
Were you able to understand your team quickly, or did it take some time before you were able to adjust to them?
I think I did take some time to adjust, because I don't normally play with fairies. Weezing was one whose potential was discovered very late season. Very late season that I discovered the potential for Weezing. And actually, I will say this, the idea to use Weezing in one of my matches first came from Matty Ice from the Stone family. And with his suggestion, I was actually able to formulate little bits of other ideas here and there for the playoffs and whatnot. And then obviously we all saw how the championship, hopefully we all saw, right? How the championship match was used with Weezing. Weezing's use came very late in season for me. But overall, I think once we got the hang of everything, we had that momentum, I feel.
Yeah. So this is an interesting question. Was there any sort of challenge you struggled with throughout the season? And if so, were you able to sort it out?
The timer. All right, so check. So difficulty throughout the season, right? And if I was able to sort it out. Difficulty throughout the season, but didn't exactly have the easiest schedule, I feel.
No.
I had Bob week 1, Alan week 2, you week 3, Landon week 4. I had Max week 5, but hurricane reasons we didn't play week 5. So we faced them off in the semifinals regardless, as well. Let's see, any hardships? Aside from just getting the team adjusted to every one of the players, obviously we had some dominant matches here, some matches that we barely won there. I'd say it's all really centered to the team and me just still getting that grasp. But again, like I said, with the last question, once we had that ball rolling, we had the momentum. Right. It's a shame that it happened so late game, because usually it doesn't happen. But
so like you mentioned, there was no week 5. So week 4, you come away with a win against the Iowa Incineroar. You are in the play-in match, so you're gonna be facing Tijuana. What were your thoughts after your last game of the regular season against Iowa, and as you were heading into the playoffs?
My thoughts, because right around that point, I was just ready for the season to be over with, So I was debating whether, obviously not throw the match, like, oh, just go in and forfeit or anything like that, but I was debating whether, if I really wanted to continue, and everyone was like, just, you made it this far, just do it.
Yeah.
You made it this far, just do it. So, we did it. But my thoughts after the last regular match of the season, I was like, oh, I was done. I really was done. I was checked out. I guess I was just burnt out.
Yeah.
At that point.
That makes sense. So you've already touched on your playoff run here. I think it's kind of gone under the radar how great your playoff run really was. Taking down Tijuana, DC, and Detroit on the Mega side, and then taking down Essex in the championship. That's probably one of the hardest playoff runs we've ever seen. So I think that's kind of gone under the radar, to be honest. I got to give you a lot of credit for that. So like I mentioned, on the Mega side, you took down Tijuana, DC, and Detroit, and now you're in the finals. So how are you feeling in that week leading into the championship match?
All right, so my feelings were kind of all over the place because I was still recovering from the stress from facing Max. Which I gotta tell you, no offense to Pidge or anything, because he's an excellent battler, but if there was one match that I was really stressed out the most was definitely Max's. I was still recovering from that match, and I even said it in my videos, like, I'm nervous for this championship. I normally am not. I don't know why I'm so nervous, but I am. And we're here. Let's just do it. And then the championship happened, and it ended the way it did. I guess it's just nerves.
Yeah. I mean, you're heading to the championship match, so it's not incredibly surprising that you would feel at least a little nervous. Now, you kind of already touched on this question. I'll go ahead and ask you anyways. Did you think you would have reached that point by the end of the season? You know, do you think you would have been so take your brain from before the season started. Do you think you would have been a finalist for this season?
I don't know about being a finalist, honestly. I think like I said, my goal was to make it to the playoffs and at least make it past the semifinals, or at least to the semifinals rather. So that was the goal. I didn't expect it to make it to the championship. But we did.
Yeah. So you mentioned timer. I believe, if I remember correctly, 4 of your matches this season went to timer, which I think breaks my record. So speaking of timer, you have this incredible championship match where you and Pidge, maybe Pidge, there's at least arguments from my end that maybe he wasn't at his best, but regardless, he still put up a really good fight, because that's just the caliber of coach he is. But he gives you this incredible fight. It goes all the way to timer. You win on HP. I mean, you sit there, let's say after the recording is done, what were your immediate thoughts after all that was kind of said and done?
I wasn't thinking. I couldn't think. I had a conversation with Pidge right after the match, and then I realized how late it was, so I kind of just, wanted to get him off the call because I didn't know it was that late for him. But we had a conversation, we talked about it, and I think after that conversation, in my head, I knew it was kind of like that season 1. It's kind of like that season 1 reaction, right? Where it took a while to sink in that we won. The only difference is that on camera, right, we said, oh yeah, we won, we're the champions, and this and that, and blah blah blah. But mentally, it didn't register until like the next day.
Yeah,
it didn't register until the next day. So really, just conversation with Pidge, and I really just couldn't think, and I just went to bed. I've been stressing over that match, both the semifinals and the finals, to where even though the match was done and over with, I still kind of dreamt about it because they were so heavily focused on my mind as of late.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just didn't think. It didn't sink in until the next day.
So now that some time has passed, speaking of it sinking in, obviously you just said it did. How are you feeling now? It's been a week or so, I think, as of recording this video, since you won the match. So now that it's kind of settled, you said it sunk in the next day. Like, how are you feeling now that some more time has passed since then?
I think it feels good to sit on the Iron Throne again. I'm just kidding. That sounds cocky. What'd you say?
I said, oh gosh.
And how do I feel now? How do I feel now and everything now that it's had a chance to sink in? So relieved is more like it, honestly. Relieved is more like it. I definitely feel lighter, less stressed, like the world's been lifted from my shoulders. And it shouldn't have to feel this way. But it did. And I guess that's one of the reasons why I didn't like this season so much, because of all the stress that went into it. But once the season was over and the championship was done, and we realized that we were the champion, it felt good. I felt relieved. And then there's the fact, that, this is gonna sound cocky, but I have no other way to put it. I don't know if I was ready. I don't know if I was ready to have another 2-time champ there. I needed to make sure that record was there and whatnot. I don't know. I think I mentioned that to you at one point in one of our chats.
You've been saying that.
So I mean, there's that. It's just the thought of the record too. I'm like, okay, so another goal. Oh, man, I guess that answers that question for the goals thing, right? Is I managed to have that goal met where I would have the most championships in the league.
Yeah, which by far way ahead of everyone else. So this question isn't on my list here, but I just wanted to kind of bring this up. You kind of brought him up, not necessarily by name in that last question there. Do you have any words for your opponent in the final, Mr. Pidge, Poke Pidge? Do you have any words for him?
I do. First and foremost, Pidge, I think that you're an incredible person. Battling and Pokemon aside, I think that based on how I see how you conduct yourself, I think that you're an amazing person. On the battlefield, in battles, I think that you are you are a very good tactician, and are a formidable opponent. Is that how you say it, right? Is that grammatically correct or whatever? You are a formidable opponent. Let's just leave it at that. You are a formidable opponent. I do think the thing that I like about Pidge as well when it comes to battling is that he and I share the same sets of morals and whatnot, I guess, when it comes to battling, and that's something that me and him had a conversation on. So I really appreciate that. I do like that a lot. But more than anything, as a battler, I couldn't think of that's probably one of the closest matches that I've had, results wise, records wise. I think that's probably one of the, if not the most, the closest match that I've had, and it was great. It was a great match.
So taking the scope here kind of off your team for a second, you've already kind of made your feelings a little bit known here in this interview, but here's your chance to really kind of expand on it if you want to. What are your thoughts on the Elite Battle League Season 4 as a whole? This includes everyone, not just your team, just the EBL Season 4 as a whole.
Okay, so if we're including everyone, right? If we're including everyone there, it's going to be mixed. Because the reason it's mixed is because how the season went on, with the changes that took effect and then didn't take effect, it felt disorganized. And obviously behind the scenes we know a little bit more on it, but it felt disorganized. And then on top of that, like I mentioned, the stress levels were there. That's one thing. On the other hand, we have the best part of the EBL Season 4, which is the competitors themselves. The competitors were all, they all put up great fights. The best thing, I will always say this and I will always stand by this, the best thing of the EBL is the people, the coaches. That is the absolute best thing that this that this organization has. And I am forever grateful for everyone that has come up, and especially who has participated as well for the season. We got to know a little each other even further, and on a not personal basis, I guess, but on a more one-on-one basis for those that I have battled. I love the fact and I really appreciate the fact that that the opponents that I faced were very flexible with my work schedule as well. It just adds to the amazing to the amazing quality that everyone has within the league. So that's always going to be the best part. The only bad part of the season was just like I mentioned, we had that stress level stuff going on, but that's pretty much it. So my answer is mixed. because of that.
So maybe you can reflect that answer in this next question. What would your rating be for this season as a whole on a scale of 1 to 10? Again, including everyone.
I'd probably say a 7. Because looking back, if we're getting grading 1 through 10, we have a 7. Looking back, working with everybody in the league, was more of a pro. You know, it outweighed those cons. You know, so it definitely made it more enjoyable. You know, so I rated a 7 out of 10. Everyone, the people made it great.
Of course. Especially me, right?
You are a big part of it.
I was just joking, but thank you.
I wasn't, guys.
Focusing it, I wasn't. Focusing it a little bit back on your team here. If you could rate your season, your personal season out of 10, you're the champ, so this might be a dumb question, but if you could rate your own personal season out of 10, what would you give yourself?
I'd also give it, actually, my personal season, I'd probably give it a 5 or a 6, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah. And maybe a little bit.
It's not good enough for you.
It's not that, dude. It's
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But if we're gonna be real, I didn't exactly leave the season with a winning record. I lost 2 matches. Did I have a winning record? I didn't have a winning record. I lost 2, and it was an even record because we didn't have week 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, not exactly my best season. I think you said that we were the lowest seed for the Megas, and you know, despite all of that, we did indeed go with the championship. But then, you know, there's the fact, you know, all the whole stresses and everything. So I'd probably just say a 6, honestly.
Okay, that's fair. Balancing out your win with everything, or at least the stress that came with it.
The stress is a big part, dude.
Yeah, that makes sense. So obviously you're going to be returning for season 5, potentially the 4-time champ. Are you excited about being a part of season 5?
So I'm very happy that we got this question, right? Because this season I'm going in with a plan. Not a plan like, oh, here's a battle plan, we're going to win this, we're going to win that. That's not what I mean. Because I want to do things a little bit different than what I did before. And that includes during the off season. So I have a plan to where I want to enjoy my rest because I need the rest, right? But I also want to, once we get the draft going and everything, and we know the mons that we're playing with and whatnot, I want to start practicing and training, you know, so that when the time comes when I have to face everyone, you know, for next season, I already have a battle plan, and then the practice matches won't be as stressful. And again, because I know you helped me with the practice matches this season, it's not because of you or anything, it's just simply the fact that there's kinks in the armor, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to have most of the kinks ironed out by the time that I actually start practicing for everybody. And the main purpose in my whole plan is to not have such a stressful season. So obviously I'm working on some things on the back end, work stuff and everything to try to clear it, because I think it's important to take a little R&R here and there and to focus on work when it's you know, possible to do so. That being said, I'm very excited for season 5. I already have the artwork done for my thumbnail and my layout, and the layouts for the rankings and the thumbnail for the rankings, which I enjoy doing very much on Photoshop and everything. I have all of that done, and whatnot. Doing that has definitely fueled the excitement even more. So yeah, overall I'm excited for it because I have a plan battle-wise for season 5.
Scary. It's gonna be a scary sight to see with the proper team. Well, not to say your team wasn't bad, but back with a top tier team. This is gonna be an interesting season. So that was our final question for the interview. With all of that out the way, do you have anything you would like to plug right here, right now? I'm gonna throw it over to you. Go ahead and take over.
Okay. So I actually kind of didn't know that was the last question because I thought there was something else there afterward. But so going back to the last question, if that's okay with you, I do want to go ahead and say that with this championship under the belt and everything, yeah, we're gonna be competitive and everything. I don't think that I'm going to be gunning for the championship as hard as I did for this, before. But if we get there, then we get there. We're not gonna have the whole "F, we won" type thing reaction. We're not gonna have that. But we are going to be going into it. We're gonna try. We're gonna try. And if we don't, then it happens. We don't. We have to lose some at some point. Jeez. And it'll be. I think that if that does happen, it'll be nice to see someone new on the Iron Throne. Yeah. But that's all I really want to say to that. For next season, it's just a plan. We're gonna try. We're gonna do it, but we're not gonna try as hard as we did before, I guess. Mm-hmm. But anyway, plugging. So I don't know when this is gonna be coming out. Probably a lot. Well, this is the postseason interview, so I lied. So this is, I'm thinking preseason. See, I'm already in season 5 mode. But postseason interview. So plugging. Currently, we have the Fire Red Leaf Green 3-way versus with this amazing man, and always more videos. So I'm gonna go ahead and have a link to the playlist. So definitely go ahead and drop that in there. It's fun editing those videos because every single time I edit them, I can't keep a straight face. I think we're hilarious. So drop on by and tell us if you think we're hilarious too. And if you don't, at least just drop a favorite emoji on all the videos. Helps us out a lot. As far as more plugins go, I do have a podcast with Stone Family 64. It's called The Nerd Mentality. We are going to be streaming on that channel moving forward, instead of having them here. We kind of changed our goals now, so now that the season ended, we're going to be shifting all of our podcast stuff onto that channel, so no more podcasts are going to be happening on the main channel. So if you haven't already, go ahead and check that channel out. It is empty, but the things will be on there regardless soon, and we have a lot of recorded stuff planned as well. I think we're going to have a lot of fun, so if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe to it. That's going to be in the description as well. Let's see. I don't think that I have anything else to plug other than the amazing coaches that have participated in the league. Go ahead and check them all out. I will go ahead and have all of their links as well in the description. But other than that, I don't have anything else.
All right. Well, make sure you guys subscribe so you not miss any of that content. Go check out his other channel, like he said. He said, it is empty right now. But if you guys watched any of the podcasts before the channel was made, you'll know there's some good stuff coming your way. So please check all that good stuff out. Subscribe. And like he mentioned, check out all the coaches. Go subscribe to all of them. I know the season might be over. I know some of them might not be returning for season 5, but you should still check them out regardless. They're fantastic people and fantastic content creators, so check them out. And that is that for the postseason interview for the Florida for Alligators. Best of luck to you, good sir, in season 5. You're going to be coming into... Have you said your new name yet? I don't want to say it for you. For season 5.
So, yeah, I kind of forgot about that. So, for season 5, it's funny because I probably changed team names and names period more than anybody. But I kind of like experimenting and everything, and I think I found a good team. and I have 2 teams. They're anyway. But the team that's going to be for season 5 and hopefully and maybe for down the line as well, we're going to be called the Fort Sill Warriors. So starting season 5 for Florida for Alligators are gone. That was more of a meme team to begin with. To take things a little bit more serious, Fort Sill Warriors is where it's at. So stay tuned for season 5 because ours is the glory.
It's gonna be scary seeing you in season 5. So of course, best of luck to you, sir, in season 5. Actually, we do have one final question here. I forgot about this one. Do you have any last words for the fans out there?
I do want to thank every single one of you who have stuck around. I know that that content hasn't been as consistent or as plentiful as it was once in the past. Work schedule and everything, we're working around it. But for those of you who have stayed, I do want to thank you for your support and for your continued support in everything that I do. And for everyone new who's coming into the channel who enjoys competitive battling, I hope you enjoy season 5 and give seasons 1 through 4 a watch and see if you like it. The league is different, but it's good, and that's pretty much it for everyone. Be phenomenal, guys.
Bringing it back. And there you have it. I hope all of you at home have a fantastic day, and we'll see you real soon for the start of season 5 of the Elite Battle League. Take care, guys.
Adios.